Oh, holy Satoshi! Yeah, Elon Musk strikes again. This time totally different, but it could be a move that could be have seen prior to that. I mean, it was something that could be predicted. Okay, that Elon Musk is buying, partially at least, Twitter, because there was a lot of signs. But let's jump directly in the headline. So Twitter shares soar more than 20% after Elon Musk takes 9% it's actually 9.2% stake in social media company Twitter. So Musk owns 73 million shares of Twitter, which represent a 9.2 passive stake in the company, according to a SEC filing that was released today. The stake is more worth. It's now worth, or it was worth, $2.9 billion. Now it's 20% more. Great investment for Elon Musk. And Musk buy comes less than 2 weeks after he criticized the company and on the matter of free speech. So just as an introduction, so Elon Musk is obviously one big fan of Twitter. He's using it every single day. This is basically his only social media platform, and he thinks, and he's also a big fan of free speech. This is something that he proclaimed in many interviews. So he put one and one together and said, like, is Twitter really doing and allowing free speech? And if not, what can be done? So he took the reins in his hand and said, I will buy 10% of Twitter. And he can now go to the shareholders of Twitter and say, I would like to have this. And it's basically an activist investment, okay, which is quite interesting that Elon Musk does that. But it's Elon Musk, right? So let's dive in first to what happened. So a couple of days ago, he did, this on 25th of March. He did this poll on Twitter. Okay, he said, free speech is essential to a functioning democracy. Do you believe Twitter rigorously adheres to this principle? 29% people, or almost 30% people said no, yes, and 70% people said no. 2 million people voted. And he wrote directly at the same day, the consequences of this poll will be important. Please vote carefully. And by then, you can also kind of imagine, I was thinking like, oh shit, how much is Twitter worth? How much is his net worth? Well, he can basically go and purchase Twitter if he want to, okay? And have a look in the stock right now, okay? After he announces the purchase, or he had to announce the purchase of Twitter shares, the shares are up 22% almost, okay? So it was $40, now it's $47. So a nice profit here. Let's calculate how much profit he made. Let's calculator. So he had 2.89 billion times 22%. So he has now made around $3.5 billion. So it's around like 600 million, okay? 600 million that he did on this move alone. This is crazy, guys, okay? By the way, let me know in the comments or the live chat right now, if you're watching this live, where you are watching from, so I can give you a shout out. Now, this is not something new that Elon Musk did, right? He did also a Twitter poll with his taxes, right? He did this at the same time, where he wrote, much is made lately of unrealized gains being a means of tax avoidance, so I propose selling 10% of my Tesla stock. Do you support this? And people said yes, people said no, but most people said yes. 3.5 million votes. So you can see here that there's lots and lots of things happening. And so I think that this is something quite interesting. And the funny thing is that he does that, and then really he stays to his word and creates this crazy moves on the market. And there were people actually that kind of did the right thing, right? Like, for example, if you're going to the Twitter account Gurgavin, which is one of the best traders on the market, you actually see that he posted also that let me have a look. Let's have a look. So those are the biggest shareholders, and Elon Musk will be actually the biggest shareholder of all of them. Okay, so you see here in percentage, Vanguard Group has about 8.8%, Morgan Stanley have a lot, BlackRock has a lot, Jack Dorsey has 2.2%, ARK Investment has 2.1%, right? And here you can see there's a lot of people bought call options on Twitter with 51k, 50k, 37k, 33k, and so on and so forth, 130k, 125k. So there's people that will make a lot of money that put that on Twitter, right? So really interesting here. According to Flow Scan app, over 3 million was spent on Twitter, 43 calls expiring 29 of April. So this is quite heavy, and this is quite interesting to see. But this will print crazy. Like, this 3 million can turn maybe to 30 million or even more, right? So this is how crazy it actually is. So quite interesting to see that people did some actions on that. Here you can see that also Elon Musk is one of the eighth most followed person on Twitter with 80 million followers, which is quite ridiculously. This is so interesting what will happen now to Twitter. And this is the biggest question, right? What will happen to Twitter after he take over? Okay, or what means take over? I mean, he take 10%. Usually this activist investments works this way. So first they acquire about a certain amount of shares. Then they can go to the board and say, I have this and this ideas for the company. Then he can either work together with the board, or if the board say, no, we are in a different situation, we don't want to go to that, he can go to the shareholders and propose his proposal and say, let's say, for example, no more cutting off and censoring of people, okay, as a starter. And this should be in the very top of Twitter. So then he can ask the company and all the shareholders to vote to go to a proxy fight, and basically do what other people like Carl Icahn usually is doing, and also demand, for example, for a board seat or install some people there. So there's a lot of things he can do, but it's always with the other majority of the shareholders. So with his 9% stake, he cannot do much, but he has obviously a 10% voting right when it comes to voting, right? So you can see here quite interesting endeavor that Elon Musk is doing. But that's why we love Elon Musk, isn't it? This is his crazy type of full action, I put my money where my mouth is, type of style of CEO that we need as very activist. And think about it, it's not a worst thing to do. Like Jeff Bezos, for example, purchased the Washington Post, right, at some point to get more of a, let's say, great investment, but also some kind of press power, I assume, was also part of this investment. But Elon Musk, I think, is again free speech and making Twitter used as the one of the best social medias out there. He thinks that he can make and improve that for every one of us, and this is what I really like about Elon Musk. So I think that's all you need to know now about this breaking news. Follow me on Instagram Wolf of Dubai Denny, and also try to smash that like button if you don't mind. And I have a brand new trading program where I make you a day trader within a couple of days, and you get access to the group. And I turned $2,000 into $20,000 with this strategy. Here's the trader. Let me introduce you to my brand new product, X10 Day Trading. Basically, you are sick and tired of your 9-to-5 jobs like I was, then this is for you. Or you just want to get a little bit of money on the side, a couple of $1,000s per month with day trading, where you don't need to know technical analysis and where you watch only 10 videos to know the strategy that I used to 10x $2,000. Yes, in 1 month, and I did it twice. And let me tell you what comes with it. A 30-minute call with me, plus an exclusive group that is coming only with this purchase, plus a second 30-minute call with me a couple of weeks later to see if you're going. So I'm holding your hand, but obviously it's time limited, so 50 people maximum. Get in if you want right now. So thank you very much, and link is into the description. Shout out to Mexico, Taiwan, Japan, Germany, and people from the US watching right now. Thank you very much, and see you soon.